Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dwarf Fortress Academy, your comprehensive guide to surviving in a game meant to kill you. I am Logan, I'm going to be your commentator today, walking you through the basics of preparing for your journey to whatever fortress you're trying to create. Okay, this right here is arguably the most important part of your early game, so make sure you pay attention. This is probably going to be a long episode, simply because there's a lot to explain. At the core, Dwarf Fortress, you start with 7 dwarves, as listed right here. I'm not going to name their names, but I have 7 peasants right here. If you look next to them, there's the number 10. That's the number of points that we can put into the skills, which are on the right-hand side. You control all this by using your arrow keys, and all these skills are skills that your dwarves can use. And there are there are some very important skills and some not so important skills until later. The most important early on skills, and these are the skills and dwarves that these are the skills you need essentially to have a fortress. You need mining, wood cutting, a mason, a carpenter, and then after then, okay, at the very base you need at least 1 miner, you need 1 woodcutter, you need 1 carpenter, and you need 1 mason. You can put these things together, and really, the embark is where you really can choose how you want to play. This is how you choose your style. However, I'm going to be showing you a really safe, really basic embark that I like to use that helps keep me safe militarily and allows me to produce food early on and just make a sustainable fortress, which is something you should be trying to do early in your Dwarf Fortress education. Sorry to take a drink there. I was talking too fast. So, we're going to be building a 2 miner, 1 woodcutter, carpenter, mason, brewer, and grower. That will allow us to dig out caverns, cut down trees, create crafts with the stuff that we get, and grow food. So, you can look into future episodes and other episodes of Dwarf Fortress Academy to learn what all these people do. So, we're going to be learning how to put the points and stuff into this embark. So we're going to start with Zefan Astenmunzir. So to get him to be a miner, make sure you have him selected, and then press right on your arrow or your 4 whatever arrow keys. And then in order to level up a dwarf, in order to make him better, by putting more points you can make him better. However, it'll spend the points you see at the bottom. If you see down at the bottom, we have 270 points. It's down in the bottom center. And every single time, if we press the plus key, it'll make him a novice miner, adequate, competent, skilled, proficient. Proficient is the best that we can give a starting person. So if he's not, then he can't do that skill. So it's important to at least give him novice. However, we want him to dig faster. By leveling him up, we can spend more points. However, he'll be more efficient. So we're going to make him a competent miner. So that's his point. And if you see, Zeron Astumzer now has 7 points. We can only put 7 more upgrades into him. So you can't make 1 dwarf a super dwarf and just put all 100 points in him, all 270 points in him. So now we're going to go down to the second dwarf. We're going to make a second miner by going over to the miner skill, going down to Fath, going over, and going to the miner skill and pressing until he's a competent miner as well. We're going to go down to Doran, and we're going to make him an adequate woodcutter. We're going to go over to Kogan. We're going to make him a competent carpenter. We're going to go back down to Dumat. We're going to make him a competent mason. And then we're going to go to Elath Gatisamuns, and he's going to be our 6th peasant. And we're going to go down, 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 until we get to the brewer skill, which is about a third of the way down the list. We're going to make him a competent brewer. We're going to go up 2, and we're also going to make him an adequate grower. He's going to serve 2 purposes in our early fortress. Then we're going to go back. You can put more points into 1 dwarf. However, I like to spread the responsibility around. I don't want to make 1 dwarf do everything. That's a good way to, if you lose a dwarf, then your fortress is essentially crippled because they had all the skills. You really want to spread the skills around. So we're going to make him a competent grower. That leaves us with 2 miners, a woodcutter, a carpenter, a mason, a brewer, a grower, brewer, and another grower. I'll explain what all these people do later. Just know that these are the important skills in here. You can do different variations. If you make only 1 miner, then you have another peasant to be, I don't know, a military guy. However, in my build, I typically typically, this is a really safe opener, I always make my mason, because I usually don't make stonecrafts very early on. I would recommend that you go down to, or you can make, actually no, go to your woodcutter. Sorry, I misspoke. Go to your woodcutter and make him an adequate axeman, or competent if you really want to make, if you really want to be, more protected. That way, if your fortress comes under attack, the woodcutter generally always has a copper battle axe on him to cut down trees. That way he'll be able to wield that axe as a weapon, and he'll be halfway good at it. That way, in case of, a small attack, you'll be ready. Now we have our dwarves ready. And one more thing, you can customize your dwarves right now by pressing the C button. And then if you press N, you can change their nickname, and if you press P, you can change their professor name. So we're just going to customize, we're going to name him Test, and then we're going to name this Test. So if you look, it says his name is now Test. You can name your dwarves using this function, and you can set the profession. That way it's a little more customized so you know what's going on. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that. So he goes back to normal. Okay. So now we have all of our dwarves set. We're going to press Tab to go to the items. These are the items that you are going to bring with you on your fortress adventure. This is a very good initial set spawn kind of thing. You have 2 copper picks, 2 battle axes, which are used to cut down trees, an iron anvil, which is used to smelt metal stuff, dwarven beer, wine, and rum, which is good because your dwarves need alcohol. You're given a various array of seeds. However, you're going to want to get more seeds. If you're going to rely on farming for your food system, which I would highly recommend as it's a very stable food system, I would recommend bringing about 60 plump helmets seeds. I'm going to bring 70. And then maybe 10 or 15 pigtails, which are used to grow to make like fabric and textiles and bandages, stuff like that. It's also a pretty useful crop, although it can't be grown all the time. Cave wheat, I wouldn't worry about these other seed types right now. I just find it isn't worth it to me. We're going to go down to the plump helmets. I'm just going to do a little bit more of efficient stuff. You need to bring some food with you, though. I'm going to bring some more kangaroo meat. I'm going to bring like 40 kangaroo meat. I got rid of my plump helmets because they cost more than kangaroo meat and they're eaten the same way. And we're going to grow plenty of plump helmets. You really need to kind of work your way around points because this spends your points as well and you only have so many. So if you can cut down in order to get more of something, this is really where you customize your play. If you come over to the right hand side, you can choose what animals you want to bring with you. If you save enough points, you can bring hunting dogs or even war dogs, which will help protect your fortress early on. So there's a lot of strategy that can go into this. You really want to think, what can I use and what do I really need early on? And playing the game more will get you this experience. So we're going to come down to pigtail, fiber, thread, cloth, and bags. I'm going to get rid of the 5 bags because I can make my own after I get my pigtails started. These are the kind of decisions that you really want to be making. If you want to add a new item, you press the letter N. The letter N will bring you to everything that you could possibly bring with you. Pretty much anything you could ever want. However, everything has a price. If you look over at the P, I'm going to bring, because I know what I need for early on, I'm going to bring barrels. And by doing that, I'm going to go up to the barrels tab and then press right and then select what kind of barrel I want. It doesn't really matter, they all cost the same. I'm going to bring oak barrels. If I want more of those items, I press plus. I want like 7 barrels. I'm going to bring an extra wheelbarrow to make my fortress a little more efficient. Keep that amount of crutches. And then I'm just going to spend the rest of my points. Probably a little bit on alcohol. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Maybe a little more meat. I'm going to bring 50 meat. And then I'll bring, say, I don't know, a cat? Sure, a cat. I'll bring a cat as well. So, these are our items. This menu, once you know what you're doing, you can really just play around with it and you can figure out what you find to your preference. You develop your own style. Everyone has their own embark. So, don't take my embark as gospel. It's all just, you play to your style. Everyone has a different style. So you'll develop your style as you play, and hope you guys enjoy this video. Sorry it might have been a pretty long tutorial video. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye and good luck.